What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about a very large mistake that I see a lot of people making and also talking about in the One Piece investing hobby right now. A lot of creators that I'm sure some of you guys watch talk about these types of things and don't really understand what's going on. And I see on Reddit and my comment section, a lot of people just spreading misinformation and saying things that I don't think are actually true or are going to happen. And I just want to caution you guys in this video because it is a very exciting time to be in the One Piece hobby. And also to give you a little value, we are going to look at some cards that are moving up in price. And then I'm also going to talk about one card in particular when we get to it that is making a crazy move over the past, I'd say 48 hours at this point. So starting off, give you guys a little bit of value. The Boa Hancock SP from Kingdoms of Intrigue. This is up to $370 on TCG Player, up almost 40% this month. So massive move there. And when we come in and look at recent sales, a lot of them are in that 400 plus range. Sure, you have a couple lower ones here, 313, 65, 343, 85, or 65. I can't even tell on most recent sale, but some pushing $400. So keep an eye on a lot of these waifu cards. I think we've seen most of the growth that we are going to see on them in response to the anticipation building from EBO3 coming out, but they still could be contenders to move a few percentage points. Maybe some of the top waifus continue to push a little bit higher, but I think a lot of the cards are kind of maxed out at this point. The Gear 5 Luffy, this is from OPL5. This is the alternate art version, not the manga. This is up 63% over the past month, sitting around $70. To nobody's surprise, a lot of Luffy cards have just exploded in price over the past 60 days. Nami Treasure Rare from OPO6, again, not really a surprise. Nami, Waifu, EBO3. Also, just in general, the Treasure Rares, I think, are getting a little bit more focus and attention, which is probably a good thing. I think they were potentially undervalued. I could see arguments for them being fairly valued and also undervalued. I don't think the artworks are great on some of them, but either way, if people want to buy these out, awesome. After that, we have Gear 2. This is the alternate art from OP11. This is up to around $90 now, up 66.6% over the past 28 days. And if you guys have actually paid attention to OP11 booster box prices, I know we talked about that being up to like $170 on TCG Player. We're actually back down to like 148. So I'm starting to question whether there was like another wave of boxes hitting the market and we're just seeing that get flushed out when we do the booster box update in a couple weeks for One Piece boxes. I'm sure we'll get a better idea of what's going on in the secondary market, but that is definitely an interesting little tidbit. After that, we have the Luffy Treasure Rare. This is from Two Legends, OPO8. This is up 71.24% over the past month, sitting around $62 USD. And recent sales, probably in that range, averaged out maybe a little bit higher than $62. We also have another Boa Hancock. This is the special rare from OPO9, Emperors in the New World. This is up 75.93% over the past month, sitting around $365 for fairly similar price to the Boa Hancock SP from Kingdoms of Intrigue. I think I like this one more. I do think the original from Kingdoms of Intrigue is fairly unique, but just for my personal bias, I kind of just prefer this one. And again, that's not super relevant when it comes to an investing context, just sharing my opinion. You can see recent sales maybe pushing towards like $390-ish. You might have had the odd sale on eBay break into the 400s raw, but it's still in that range, 370 to 390. And after that, couple more cards here. We have Shirahoshi. This is from PRBO 1, and that's a full art. And then we also have the alternate art from PRBO 1. I think that this card is playable. I could be wrong, but just because this card is basically spiked out of nowhere, and considering that a lot of other Shirahoshis haven't moved, I would imagine it has something to do with these being a one-cost Shirahoshi. I could be wrong. If you guys have more information, you play the TCG, whatever, leave a comment down below. Maybe someone's just buying this out because they like Shirahoshi, but my guess would be it's tied to the TCG. And then the final card I want to talk about in this video, actually there's going to be a couple more, but this is kind of the main one I wanted to discuss. The wanted poster, the Luffy wanted poster from OPO9. I had someone message me on Discord about this card, and I also saw a couple comments on my recent YouTube videos about this being bought out on TCG Player. It's up 27% almost over the past months at around $260. The issue though is this is based on a $260 current market price, whereas when we look at recent sales, they're all basically over $300, and you have sales up to $500 from a couple days ago on TCG Player. And this is kind of going to lead into the conversation I want to have today. And that is that you have to be very careful and selective when investing in TCGs. And when we're in a market like we're currently in, seeing a lot of the top cards, and even some of the boxes starting to move, you could pick something up like a wanted poster, maybe it doubles or triples in price, and you think you're a genius, right? And sure, you can make great money. I'm not saying you can't make money in a lot of these cards. I'm not even saying that this is a bad card, but the reality is a lot of people become overconfident when we're in bull markets and they think that they are genuinely the smartest investor ever. And by the way, the lowest listed copy of this card currently on eBay that's in English, because all these below it are in Japanese, is $500 with best offer. And then it jumps all the way up if you come down here to $1,000. And you can even see in the title, it says send offer. So the person's not expecting to get $1,000 for this. But with a lot of these cards, it's really only taken like 3 or 4 sales. And, if you look at TCG Player, you can see we jumped from like the 250 range up to 400, then to 500, one at 444 and one at 335. But there isn't any other listing. So, well, one here at $500, I should say, but no lower listing. So it only took about 4 sales to move this card on TCG Player from $250 up to $400. And it's not like there isn't any of these wanted posters out there. So you have to be careful in situations like this because you can very easily talk yourself into buying a card on the way up, not knowing that it's already close to its peak. And again, I'm not saying that a card like this wanted poster couldn't move up to $1,000 in the future, but I do think that a lot of the gains that we've seen on a lot of these SPs and even some of the mangas is not sustainable. Whatever we've gotten now, we're probably going to level out. Some cards might even pull back, and we will find new floors higher than previous floors. I do think that there are more investors in the hobby now than there were even just a couple months ago. I think that a lot of people, again, we've talked about this multiple times, have moved over from Pokemon and are starting to collect One Piece because 1, it's cheaper, 2, it's more accessible, 3, there's maybe just less scammers in the hobby currently. That might change if more people come over from Pokemon. Eventually, we probably will get more sneakerheads and resellers and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that all those people are bad, but it kind of just is the reality. If the game blows up, you will have some bad apples come in. But all of this is to say that you just need to be careful because I think a lot of the gains that we've seen on the top cards is done in a sense. I don't think we're going to see them double or triple again over the next couple months. Now, in the future, over the next 5 years, could that happen with some of the top cards? Sure, it's entirely possible. But for me, I like investing in booster boxes. And the reason for that is I don't have to think about this, right? I don't have to be a genius. I don't have to be on top of things. I'm investing in a deflationary asset that doesn't require a massive increase in popularity to see a price appreciation on the product. Whereas with a lot of these top cards, sure, it's great if you want to invest in manga event rares or if you want to invest in SP cards or if you just want to invest in the top cards like the Gold Roger Luffy. But if there's no one who actually wants to buy them, it's going to be very difficult for those types of cards to move from $3,000 up to $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, etc. Now, on the flip side of that, I do want to say that I could be completely wrong with this. And I also see a lot of people in my comments. I read the comments, guys, and I don't necessarily agree with all of them, but a lot of people are saying this is all market manipulation. A lot of people are saying that they're going to sell their collections. One Piece is bound to fail or whatever. And the growth we've seen is just crazy. Like there's no way this is sustainable. But if you sold in, I don't know, December, January of this year, December of last year, January of this year in Pokemon, you probably would have missed out on 100 to 200% returns more on a lot of your sealed product, a lot of your top cards. And that could be where we're at with One Piece. We could have an entire 2026 where a bull run continues in One Piece. When OP13 comes in, that's just super popular. That brings more people into the hobby. The anime just continues to go, the manga, etc. Live action season 2, everything just builds up to a bigger, stronger game, larger community where we have more price appreciation. Again, that's not necessarily going to happen. I'm not saying that's a guarantee or not, but I don't think the right play at this moment is to get rid of everything, right? The truth is kind of always in the middle. There's going to be bears on one side, bulls on the other side, conservatives on one side, liberals on the other. Normally things are somewhere in the middle when it comes to right and wrong. So if you guys want to take some profits on your top cards, I think it's a great time to do so. But I would recommend that you have some skin in the game. I think a lot of people, when we look back at a video like this in 5 years, are probably going to regret selling everything. And again, if you want to get rid of your cards, that's fine. If you have booster boxes, maybe you want to hold on to those just because as time goes on, there's going to be less and less of them out there. Whatever way you go about it, you always want to have schmuck insurance. You always want to make sure that if things go one way or the other, you're covered. But that's really all I wanted to touch on this video. You guys can let me know in the comments section down below what you think. I know I didn't touch on these too much. I did bring them up though. Someone was trying to buy out some of these manga event rares and they kind of succeeded with the Shanks one from PRBO2. This is up to around $125, $130. You had sales up here around $150 from the past couple days. The Cross Guild, I love this card by the way. I think this card is absolutely sick. If you guys have watched the channel, you know that I'm also a big fan of Buggy, and I think this is another very solid artwork. If you guys did get some value out of this video, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below for the algorithm. It really does help out a ton. We're growing at such a crazy rate. I have you guys to thank for that. 4.1K subs, like, came out of nowhere. It's honestly wild. Also, if you are shopping eBay, TCG Player Hobbiesville, again, no pressure, but I do have affiliate links down below. Free and easy to use. All you have to do is click on it before you do the shopping you already plan to do, and I'll get a small percentage of that sale at no extra cost to you. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.